I'm at heart an entrepreneur. I'm a problem solver. I mean, I'm a disruptor. We disrupt, we change. I love change, because if we don't embrace change, we're not going to move forward. So we have to make change our friend, and the status quo has to be in our rear view mirror. And that's something that sometimes folks that have a short-term perspective in government and in politics are all thinking, again, short-term and not about what's right for our children. I grew up on a farm just over the Pennsylvania line near East Berlin, Pennsylvania. And from Shiloh, which is right down the street, I used to go out in that area, deliver eggs. I used to drive an egg truck and deliver eggs to Weiss markets. So my farm, it's a family farm, I worked for my dad, was in East Berlin, Pennsylvania. We had a 200-acre farm, and it was chickens, 50,000 chickens, and hogs, 600 hogs. So I spent a lot of time literally shoveling chicken manure, feeding hogs, baling hay, combining corn, etc. So I've got a very much of a untypical background for a business guy. While we worked hard, it actually failed. So back in the 80s, interest rates were 17, 18%. My dad got overextended, he drank too much, and that led to the failure of the farm. So banks took the farm, banks took our house, they took our home. At that point, I decided that I needed to get a job and support my mom and help the other kids, because my parents divorced. And so I went off with my mom and rented a house, and a small house, and took out loans and went to graduate school. And figured I need to get an MBA, and I'll be more marketable then. And I'm a huge believer in education. I mean, we've got to figure out how to get, not just universal pre-K. We've got to figure out how to help the 3- and 4-year-olds in areas where there's, they're not hearing enough words, they're just parked in front of a TV at a daycare. And all the research shows that if these young folks at 3 and 4 hear 1 million words, they read so much better, and they aren't behind by 3rd grade. And if they're behind by 3rd grade, they never catch up. We've got to figure out how to get vocational schools. Not everybody wants to do a 4-year college. We should have vocational schools like they do in Tennessee to create folks to be a mechanic, to be a great electrician, have a great job and great income. And also community college. I mean, there's no reason why we should not have free community college, and that's a start. But all the countries in the world have college, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. It shouldn't cost an arm and a leg. So the second thing we took away from that, where we grew up, was willingness to be a problem solver and take risk. And that's something I don't think we see in government. They're trying to kick the can, down the street. Not fix the problem, but kick the can and not have responsibility to step up and get solutions. And as a small business owner, that's what we do. We always think about the long term. And if you think about the long term, things like the environment, things like medical research, all those are long-term things. How to create good jobs, better jobs, how to have health care for everybody, not what's happening in Washington where they're trying to take away health care from 20-some million people. If you're thinking long-term, we're going to be more successful. So we're not taking any PAC money, we're not taking any lobbyist money, we're not taking any corporate money. We are going to raise money. We're going to raise money the old-fashioned way, get lots of $25 type donations, and have a movement of a lot of folks. We need a business type person that not beholden to anybody, all wants to do is make life better and cares about the long term. I've done a lot of work with the American Civil Liberties Union on criminal justice. I've been part of that for over 20 years. That's something very important, my wife and I, and that was, I think, really helpful there. We had President Obama at our house. He said some nice things about us. That was a win. We raised a lot of money for the DNC, and we carried the Latino areas. We beat the Latino candidate, and that's an area that we focused on: jobs and education. I'm in this for what I think is right for the voters. If everybody get that perspective, I think we'd be a heck of a lot better.